Welcome to Urban Serenity Garden, beautiful community. Today we are going to bring you guys into our grow room and let you guys see what is happening inside our little station. Here we garden, cook, do shopping hauls, and a bit of a lifestyle. So please consider subscribing if you have not already to follow our journey and our little family of 4. Thanks for your support. Now let's jump into this video. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring you guys close in here so you guys can see what we are doing. I'm also gonna let you guys know of our flaws and our failure when I started our seeds and all that wonderful jazz. Now, it might be a long one. It's not that I'm rambling, but I want to give you guys full in-depth details of pretty much what happened, or the little contraptions that I'm using, and what has worked and what has not. Now, I'm not giving anybody any tea, any shade of the stuff that didn't work for me. I know that it has solely been my error, so just a disclaimer in that. So let's go ahead and jump into all of this information. All right, so I figured I'll start off with showing you guys what I do have here. I have here set up 2 10 by 20 flats. This one here, if I'm not mistaken, is mostly flowers, and this one over here is a hodgepodge mix up of my tomatoes, peppers, and some flowers. Now I have a good set of germinations. I can't complain once it comes to that, so I am very, very happy. Once it comes to lights, I have, I guess, a setup of shop lights, and I can't be happier with them. Some of these tomatoes might look a bit leggy. I am not really, going crazy or bananas about that, because tomatoes, you can up pot them, which obviously I have to up pot these because these are very tiny, and I can bury them deep because they will grow roots up and down the stem. So I'm not upset about that. So I'm really not losing any sleep regarding that. Other than that, these flowers are looking amazing, so I can't complain. Running down here, we're not going to talk about that. This is the eternal fight that I have with the ranunculus. What can I say? I might have 2 there, and they're holding on for dear life. I just don't know. I follow Serena at You Can Eat the Grass, and I follow Nicole at Flower Hill Farm. I swear I do everything that they say, and I still don't have success. So every year I buy corms, 25, not at a reputable place, and if I get 2, I'm a happy person, but it is what it is. But anywho, is moving along. Over here, I decided to buy these little guys. These little things I brought about 4-5 days ago. I am very happy with them. I have cucumbers, and they are doing amazing. Over here, I decided to sow some cold weather crops like rainbow Swiss chard, some kale, some cilantro. Some of them are holding peppers. Over here, yesterday, I decided to sow some sunflowers and some lettuce, and they come with a dome, humidity dome. They come with the reservoir in the bottom that holds the water, and I'll lift this guy up so you guys hopefully can see it. This is clear in the bottom, if I can do this single-handed. And you can see the roots growing, so it's amazing. It's phenomenal. Like, I can't complain. And I actually brought it in a sister company to Amazon, which is called Woot, and it was, I think, was it 20 or was it, I can't remember the price, but it was amazing. A lot of people were raving over it, and it's actually pretty sturdy. So I hope to get a couple of years out of it. I can't complain. So, this is what I've been using this year to kind of grow my seedlings. And this is what's working for now. Now over here, I'm going to show you, because I told them I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So over here, I have what is labeled in the seed packet as culantro. A lot of people know it by culantro. In Puerto Rico, we know it as recao. And we use this in our Puerto Rican cuisine to do beans. That's what I use it. A lot of people use it in sancocho. They use it in soup. I also use it to do my sofrito. This looked a whole lot better when I first started it. I started it in January because it is like a heat loving, moist loving thing. I started it in my heat mat that you see here. And guys, I almost done to kill this thing. As you can see here, it has like a lot of algae growth and all that, but I'm not worried about it. So what I did was yesterday, I came in here with these, I brought this micro set tool, which I think is actually for like succulents or something. I don't do succulents here, and it actually has helped me with a lot of stuff around here. So what I did was carefully with these tweezers and this little shovel thing, I pulled out like the most healthiest ones, and come along with me, and I put them here. And I did this yesterday, guys, and I was like really afraid because I was like, I don't know if they're gonna make it. And guys, they look perky, they look happy, and I'm happy. So now fingers crossed, guys, that I just didn't like poo on them. So the other stuff that I have back here, I just gave them water, is onions. The same thing, I've never grown onions. Pray for me, guys. Hopefully they hold out. I think I can already plant them outside, whatever makes if they make it, but I still have to like turn the beds around a little bit and amend them. So this is pretty much where we're at, and by I mean my husband and my son, because I can't do any of that. I'm broken. So this is pretty much what I have here. And if we want to talk about what's up here, flowers, they have won my heart. Like I said, I do mention Nicole, a lot. I am going to mention her a lot here, probably, from Flower Hill Farm. And even Serena, you can eat the grass. I mean, they have both won my heart over with flowers. And I am pretty much growing everything here that I can probably think of, from a lot of calendula to coneflowers to zinnias to marigolds, because I like to interplant those with my tomatoes. This year I tried what is this, dianthus, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Shasta daisies, echinacea, because in the front I want to see if I could do like a perennial garden. So I'm gonna have my husband try to plant a lot of perennials up there, because I want to start to see if I can do like a once and done kind of thing, and not to have to worry about just continue to replant, because that kind of gets a little exhausting, doesn't it? I mean, besides your vegetables, which obviously it is what it is, but I don't mind the vegetables, because you need to do that and you want those, right? But for flowers and its beauty, and you cut them, you bring them inside, if it could be hands off, why not? So, this is what I have going here. So now that I can show you that I do have success and I'm very happy, now I can tell you all of my seeds this year has been from M.I. Gardner. I love M.I. Gardner. I have been using him for years for all my seeds, also for Trifecta Plus. But I've also introduced Baker Creek seed. I introduced Baker Creek seed to me last year. I used them again this year. This year I started buying from Johnny's Seeds, and I've had 100% germination. Some of these things are just going on the slow side, but if I bring you guys up close, you can see like the Shasta daisy and the echinacea are starting to come up. I have some of the peppers that are still not up, but these are considered like the hot peppers, so they're a little slow to germinate. They have to take a little longer, but it is what it is, and what you don't see that's up is just like I said, I just potted these things up yesterday, so you have to wait for them. Now what I have down here is what I was already guys telling you is the stuff that I want for the perennial garden. So I was at Home Depot with my son yesterday because we needed to buy more soil, the soil that I use in my beds, and the green stalks is the Pro Mix. So we got, I think, like 7 or 8 bags of those because it's a compressed bag. So I was in the aisle that they have these like things that I guess are either bulbs or like bare root, and I decided to pick these things up. I got echinacea, and this was actually 2 bare roots for $6. I thought it was a good steal, so I went ahead and picked it up. Now, mind you, I am growing this from seed on the top, and it actually has one of them, so it'll be very interesting. I'm growing this exact variety in the top. I got hollyhock as well. This has 2 bare roots as well for $6. Now, hollyhock I tried last year. I tried to buy it. I don't know if it was from Walmart or what it was, and I was not successful. I actually potted them up in like something like this, and they didn't make it, guys. So I'm hoping that this will make it. I also brought hosta. This, my husband, he actually seems to like this plant. I actually seem to grow fond of it. It's two-tone and it looks pretty cool. It doesn't produce a flower, but it'll look pretty cool. Phlox, I seem to have grown some passion for it. It looks pretty cool if it stays in pom-pom form and doesn't separate. It seems to be that it'll be really nice in an arrangement, and also brings 2 bare roots for $6. Why not? And lilies, I'm a sucker for lilies. I love lilies. Anything lily I love, especially if it's a fragrant lily. Now I don't remember if I got this also at Woot or if I got it at Groupon, but it was 6 for, I think it was $20, and I picked up 2 packs. I love these things. The only thing that I hate about lilies is that they're a once and done, which is why I really don't like tulips, and I don't like the other stuff that usually comes up in the spring, because you plant it, and yes, it is a perennial, it comes back every year, but it puts on a beautiful show, don't get me wrong, but then once the petals are gone, it's just greenery, and you have to cut it down, and that's why I hate it. So I have a hate-love relationship with this particular lily because I love the fragrance. So I'm kind of selfish with this lily. Once it comes up, I cut it, I bring it inside, enjoy it, and that's it. So these are for me. I mean, they're all for me. Don't get it twisted, but it is what it is. So my husband has a lot of work to do. He has a lot of work to do. I do the sit down work. I get all of these things started, and then it's his job to get this all into the garden between him and my son. But, now that I showed you all the pretty stuff, now that I showed you the progress, the amazing success, I'm going to kind of tell you the failures that I had to get to this point. So I started most of these peppers and, tomatoes, and even some of these not these flowers, a different flower, starting in January, February. Now, mind you, I'm shooting this video April 13th in my time. You guys might see it a little bit late because obviously, things need to be edited and all that stuff. Now, I never have these small seedlings. Now, the flowers I'm not worried about. I never have these small seedlings for tomatoes and peppers this late in the game. Now, rule of thumb is what I heard in the community is that a lot of people, they say it's safe to plant things after Good Friday. I never follow that rule of thumb. I usually like to plant my peppers after May. I sometimes might gamble with a couple of tomatoes as long as the weather stays consistent above 50, 60, and the nights are also, the same, which means that the days would have to be, in the 70s. And in April, that doesn't happen. So, everything will pretty much go out at the same time, which means I still have about a couple of weeks. Tomatoes, they tend to go pretty quickly, but the peppers don't. By the time my peppers go out, I have topped them off a couple of times and they're ready to produce flowers, which allows me to have an amazing pepper harvest. This year, that's not going to be the situation. So my pepper harvest, we'll see what happens. But we're hopeful. It is what it is. So here's what happened. I decided to jump on the train with everybody and do soil blocking. Now, I'll bring you guys over so you can see. Now, here is usually where I have like all of my, gadgets and all that stuff that I use to go to the garden, and, all of my supplies and my cat. That's literally at my feet. So that's my mister. So I can, mist the seedlings, the top of them. So I have the soil blockers, which, everybody pretty much has. Now they're getting a little fancier and they're putting like, plastic coats here so it doesn't hurt your hand. So, which is amazing. So when I first started, I was using the micro or the mini, whatever it's called at this point. I don't care at this point. And I was doing great. I was using these styrofoam things, which you can buy, sometimes herbs, fruits, and even your meat, This is what Nicole uses, sometimes she uses a top of a toad, whatever, depending on how much that you're using. This guy here fits twice. I had the bigger ones. I threw them out because I'm done. In the beginning, it was amazing. It was doing good. Things grew, not all of them, but I'm a lady that has a lot of appointments, and unfortunately inconsistent watering got the best of me, and my seedlings, the ones that did come up, just did not progress, and unfortunately they kicked the bucket. So I figured, the medium, it's not the medium's fault, and it's not this fault. Like I said, it's the gardener's fault. It's user error. I figured since this is so tiny and dries out so quickly because they're also on a heat mat, let me try to do them in the big guy. So I went on, I did so many blocks of this. Now I put them in a 10 by 20 tray. I filled up 4 of these. No lie, I think. Let me bring you guys over here, which I still have to wash these. 1, 2, 3, I filled up 4 because this one here I would use to mix the medium. So it just did not work out. It just did not work out. I put seeds in there. I even put the humidity dome, which you can see on top of there. I put the humidity dome and it just did not work out. It did not work out, guys. It did not work out. At this point, I was just wasting precious seeds, which are also valuable. Precious seeds, precious time, all that good stuff. At this point now, I'm in February. And I am desperate because, like I said, peppers should be started early. I am desperate. I'm going out of my mind. These things are not growing. I'm giving them time. They're under humidity dome. I am checking them. This time I am keeping them watered. Since they're under a humidity dome, they stay watered, or moist. More, I had put vermiculite on top of it to hold the moisture. I am doing everything I can possibly do. Nope. Nothing, not even the tomatoes came up. Absolutely nothing. I was really, 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 really upset. My husband's like, oh, maybe you just got bad seeds. I was like, it's impossible for me to get bad seeds for all of them. I understand maybe one packet. I was like, these are reputable brands. I mean, you're talking about, like I said, am I going to Baker Creek seed? and Johnny's seeds, and I'm like, this just is just not possible. Now you think maybe it's your medium, right? So what he did was, let's change medium, because the medium that I'm using is Sun Grow Black Gold seedling mix. Now this I've used, I think, for 1 or 2 years, and I love it. It's fine. It's airy. It's fluffy. No problem. At this point, I've already wasted a bag and a half, and I'm like, this is not doing anything. At this point, it's just growing fungus. It's growing algae. I don't want to reuse it, so at this point, I'm just tossing it. Guys, let me know if that was the right choice. So he goes on to Amazon, and he's like, okay, so let's see what else we can use. Let's watch our tried and true people, and like Jess at Roots and Refuge, Nicole at Flower Hill, Serena at You Can't Eat the Grass, and many more. And let's see what they use to start their seedlings. And I'm like, I just don't know. I really don't know. So he goes on this endless situation, and he's like, oh, let's try Happy Frog. And I'm like, but that's potting soil. I don't know if I want to start it in potting soil, but at this point, I mean, I'm getting desperate. So some of these are started in potting soil, and that is my cucumbers. And then he went through the rabbit hole, and we ended up with Vermont compost. Now, did we get the right blend? Probably not. I don't know. I just picked one. It did not end up with the seedlings. It'll probably end up either in the green stalk or the bed, or even if I up pot, which I'll probably end up having to do. We will see. The weather's here in zone 7B, Bronx, New York right now. They're unseasonably hot. Like today, right now, I think it's almost 90 degrees outside. I mean, unheard of. But then we're gonna go back down to mid 50s. So I might have to up pot. I might not have to. So we will see. But needless to say, after we had the incident of them not coming up in the soil blocks, I decided with my husband, he was like, if that doesn't work, I also watch Bumblebeat. I don't know what his name is. I don't know if he's ever disclosed it. I just know the name of his channel. He's in North Carolina, and he grows efficiently. I love him. I've been watching him for years, just like, all my other people. And he grows his seed. He starts his seeds in wet napkins in a bag, in a sandwich bag, like a Ziploc bag. He labels them. He puts them in a heat mat with a towel. And my husband was like, it doesn't hurt. And I was like, sure doesn't. So here I come back downstairs, because I was just defeated. I literally just threw the towel. Literally. And I was like, okay, I that's so many more seeds. This is the third time. At this point, I've ran out of some of the favorites, and I was like, let's just do this again. I don't know what else to say. So I come downstairs into the basement, sit down, write names on plastic bags, and put 2 seeds per variety, in each corner, put them in bags, towel on the heat mats, because I have the towels down here, as you can see. And here we go. Days go by. Weeks go by. I come down here like I'm looking for gold. Nothing happens. And lo and behold, little by little, each seed starts to emerge. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. But, by this point, I'm already in March. I'm already in March, people. If you guys have made it this long, thank you. I'm already in March, and it is what it is. And for me, it's like hope is lost. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. And it is what it is. So at this point I'm like, they've received enough heat. I was like, I don't know, I was like, let me put them in soil, because me holding out, for bumblebee, it happened in 5 days. Why is it that my seeds are taking so long? I was like, are my heat mats not hot enough, at this point? Because I've had these heat mats for a while. I don't know, if after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, maybe they're not just heating enough. I have the slightest idea. So I just took them off. I don't know, maybe after a week or two. Because not even my sweet peppers were coming up, as quick as I wanted them. And I was like, and usually sweet peppers are quicker than hot peppers. And at this point, some of my hot peppers were actually, germinating. And I was like, what is going on, guys? And I just came down, he was like, you're not going to wait for my soil? I was like, no. No, because his soil was going to come out later, and I had the tomatoes that were starting to germinate. I was like, I have to get these tomatoes out. So I just used the SunGrow, the SunGrow seedling mix, and I just started potting up the tomatoes. I was like, I'll pot up the tomatoes when your happy frog comes through, then I'll pot up the rest. Done did lie to myself. I couldn't wait. I potted up everything, and then I started planting flowers. And when the happy frog came through, that's when I planted the cucumbers. I up potted the culantro, and all of this happened. So that is my story, guys. I just don't know. It has been a ride to get here, but they're seedlings. They're growing. Some of them are bare, which at this point I'm just going to count it as a loss. And I am talking about once it comes to the vegetables. So I might just pop in another seed if I have any left, because these sun golds, that has to grow. It has to, because they're just a favorite here. And once it comes to the peppers, I don't have the jalapeno. We can live without some of those hot ones, so I'm not gonna stress it. Once my sweet ones come up, then that's what I need. But most of my sweet ones are down here. And the names are this way because that was the way that I can fit them in a little bit more. And right now I only see that I have my arroz con pollo, my criol de cocina. There's a yellow monster, and that's all I'm really seeing. It looks like King of the North is probably breaking surface. But that's it. Over here I have an eggplant. I have the giant Marconi is breaking. One is up. The other one's breaking surface. I have an eggplant. The one is breaking surface over here. And then, everything else is just pretty much, non-existent. So, I have a lot of the hot peppers. And, this is exactly what I was saying. It's like my hot peppers were there, which was really funny, but none of my sweet peppers were, coming up. So that tells you a lot. But guys, this video has gotten pretty long. And I hope that you guys will sit through it. Maybe when I edit it down, it'll become a little shorter. But if you guys have stuck through, man, you guys are troopers. I really appreciate it. I really wanted to guys give you a full tour of what was going on here. And, that's pretty much the story of, how all of this came through and all the failures that I had to get to this point. And, from here out forward, hopefully it'll be just success once it comes to up potting. And if I have to up pot, if the weather just gets better, I'll just, refreshen the soil and just take these guys out. Because last year, that is exactly what happened with the tomatoes. They were puny, but I got them out. Puny about like this. They only had like about a set of 2 to 3 true leaves, and they were giant at the ending of the season. But guys, this is it. This is the first tour of 2023 Seedlings. So stay tuned, because it will hopefully be an amazing year. And like I said, this is Urban Serenity Garden. As always, plant a seed, watch it grow, and stay serene and with much love. Bye.